Hi, my name is Marshal. I'm a Newlands Rotary member and I just wanted to say welcome today to our Cape Town Marathon Marshal briefing. We'll just be quickly going over a couple of important things for you to know when you're marshalling on the day, as well as your responsibilities and duties. To start off with, just a couple of important things. The first thing is, please bring with you on the day a fully charged cell phone. You're going to have to take 2 numbers down that you need on your cell phone. The first number would be your sector marshal number. The second number is the VOC number, which is the Venue Operations Centre's number. The number for that is 021 417 4150, but we will also be emailing you the PDF document of your responsibilities and duties, and that number is on that form as well for you. It's really important to have that number. It is the number for any emergencies or general inquiry. If you phone the VOC number, they have access to everybody in a centralized position, so they can deploy emergency personnel or police or traffic department to you, depending on what your situation would be. It's important to know your exact position as a marshal in terms of the route, and also to understand your specific role relating to the runners and the traffic control in that specific location. This information will be given to you by your sector marshal, and if you are unsure about that, please check with them before the day of the race. On race day, it's very important to be on time on your location. This will probably be 30 minutes before the first runner comes past your section, but the sector marshal will give you that instructions. Please take note that there will be things like road closures, there will be condensed traffic coming into town, especially around the start and finish area in the morning. There might be limited public transport, and you also need to take into consideration that you'd more than likely have to walk to your specific spot to be marshalling. You need to take all of this into account to make sure that you're actually on your spot, ready for duty at the exact time the sector marshal has requested you to start your duty. Please make sure that if you do come to town in your vehicle, that when you park it, it's parked off the route and not in the way of the runners. It would also be advisable to try and share transport so that we reduce the amount of traffic coming into town. Security is a concern in public places, so please make sure that you don't bring any valuables with you. You will have your cell phone with you, which you must just please keep in your person bag, maybe in your pockets or hidden away in the duration of the race, so that you just have access to it in case of an emergency or if you have a query. If you are concerned about anything, please alert the VOC. You can phone the emergency number that we have given to you, and you can give the specific details to the person on the other side of the line, and they will then assess the situation and help you by deploying either SAPs or traffic control, depending on what your situation is to you. Please make sure that everything that you bring with you, you take back so that we do not create any litter. To cover the duties of the marshals for the day, the equipment that you'll be given. Each marshal will receive a bib that says Marshal on it. It's a very bright coloured bib. You will also receive a flag on a stick. It's a red flag, and that you will keep to control the traffic, vehicle traffic as well as pedestrian traffic, depending on the spot on the route that you have. Please make sure that you come with all the needed protection. Please have sunblock with you. Bring some water. If you think you need something to eat, bring that along as well. Please make sure that you know that you're ready and prepared for any weather conditions. It might be windy, it might get really cold, it might be really hot, so bring a hat, bring a jacket with you, just to make sure that you will be comfortable on the day. The marshals are not allowed to leave their spot. You have to be on the same spot for the duration of that race, so please make sure that you have what you need with you. Your responsibilities. Your main responsibility as a marshal is to ensure the safety of the runners and to assist with the traffic control of the vehicles as well as pedestrians around the race. Please note that the Cape Town Marathon is an IAAF Gold accredited race, which means it's complete road closures. No vehicles apart from accredited vehicles are allowed on the route in any circumstance. There will be some vehicles that would have clear accreditation on it, or emergency vehicles that are allowed on the route. All other vehicles have to be kept off the route. There are some areas in the route where the vehicles have to veer off the route and re-enter the route due to bridges and things like that. In those instances, as the marshal, please assist these vehicles to re-enter the course safely and making sure that there's space for them to do so. in different spots on the route, some marshals might have to control pedestrian traffic and allow for pedestrians to cross over the route. You'll need to take your use your discretion here and please ensure the safety of the runners and let people move across swiftly. As a marshal, you have no legal right to stop traffic, but we have been instructed by the Cape Town City Traffic Department to assist with traffic management. If you have any issues, you can phone the VOC immediately and they will deploy traffic department to come assist you. But please make sure that when you are in routes where there is a possibility of vehicles coming onto the route, that you understand the alternative directions for traffic to take so that they can get to where they are. But no traffic, regardless of the importance or the emergency that they might find, are allowed on the route. Please use your flag in a horizontal position. Don't wave your flag around, but your flag will be used to stop the pedestrian traffic or stop vehicle traffic, while your free hand will be pointing in the direction the runners need to take. So the runners will be paying attention to your hand, showing them the direction that you need to take. In some instances, the marshals will be on a spot where there might be a turn, and it is vital for you to show the runners that this is, indicate to the runners that this is where they would need to turn. The safety of the runners are your primary concern. Please make sure that you position yourself so that you're clearly visible to all the runners, as well as the traffic in terms of vehicle traffic or pedestrian traffic, depending on the spot that you are stationed. There might be cones placed around your station. If that is the case, those cones are your responsibility to keep until the coning team come to pick up the cones at the end of the race. Please make sure that you've checked all the signage that might be at your post. They might be distance markers, they might be coning, and they might be arrows. Just make sure that it all makes sense and that they're all in the right place. Please don't leave your station under any circumstances. If you have an emergency, don't move away from your space unless you have been instructed by the sector marshal to do so. But apart from that, you have to remain at your station. Also, if there is an emergency or you have a patient, please do not move that person away from your station. It creates quite a bit of confusion when help is deployed. At the end of the race, there is a road closure vehicle that follows the last runner. Only when you see the road closure vehicle is the race closed. At that point, please collect all the cones in your area. If you're placed just off the race route, just make sure that you collect your cones and bring them towards the race route. A coning vehicle will be following the race closure vehicle and they will be collecting all the cones. Once they've collected the cones and you have no more cones in your area, you are allowed to leave your station. Please just double check with your sector marshal and let them know that you are done your duties for the day. Please use your discretion on the day. Your main aim, as I've mentioned before, is the safety of all the runners and to maintain the traffic control of the area that you're in. You're going to have to use your discretion. If there are any things that you might be concerned about, things that you think could be potential problems, please contact your sector marshal immediately and describe to them what your situation is. If you have an emergency, any medical emergency or something that is really serious, please phone the VOC immediately. The VOC has the ability to see the entire race as a whole and they can deploy SAPs or the emergency personnel to your station immediately. To report an emergency, especially a medical emergency, you will need to give specific information, which I'll be going over. Please stay calm. You have to give your name and the exact position of your station on the route. As I've mentioned before, it's really important to know exactly what your spot is. So either in terms of the marshal number that you are or the intersection that you're stationed at. You need to give the status of the patient, which we will be displaying on the side here. This is just an indication to the emergency personnel how serious the incident is and how quickly they need to get to your point. Please also give the patient's name and race number to the VOC. We will also be sending you a PDF to download. It has all the information written down that I've gone through now, as well as a couple of steps to take in case of a medical emergency. Please do take note of all of those and just read through them before race day. That brings us to the end of our Marshal briefing. Thank you very much for assisting us on the day. Without every marshal volunteering for the day, this race cannot be a success, and we really appreciate you volunteering for this race. On behalf of Newlands Rotary and the Cape Town Marathon, we say a big thank you, and we look forward to seeing you on race day. Have a lovely day.